Hey everyone, it's Ben Hardy here, and in today's we're going to be reviewing the Ineos Grenadier Trialmaster. This is basically the Rubicon Grenadier, is one way that you could look at it. Before we begin this video, I want to give a huge shout out and thank you to the Warner Ineos Grenadier here in West Valley, Utah for giving me some time with this Trialmaster. This particular one is available for sale for the time being, so if you're interested, I'll include a link to their website in the description down below. If you have any questions, you need any help, just ask for Corey. And then on a side note, if you want to save time and money the next time you purchase a car, link to my car buying guide in the description down below. Let's get into it. Under the hood, we have a turbocharged 3-liter inline-six that goes through an 8-speed automatic transmission. It puts out 282 horsepower and then 332 pound-feet of torque. Fuel economy on this package is rated at 14 around town, 14 on the highway. Owners so far have said they've gotten a little bit better than that, but that's under the hood. Before we move forward with this review, I do want to mention, if you want to see more videos just like this, then I recommend you subscribe because I post content every single day. So you notice this particular one has the roof rack set up. If you get the roof rack, you can't open up the Safari windows, so you'll see if a Grenadier has a roof rack, it probably doesn't have Safari windows. Doesn't really make sense to have both those options. And this one also has the snorkel, which notice the opening is actually faced backwards, how snorkels should be. And then you guys can see here, just like the Defenders, and then same thing with the headlights design, very similar with the overall theme. And then I love the bumper here. It's obviously practical. You can see skid plate protection underneath. This has 10.4 inches of ground clearance. And so putting it all together, yeah, it does look like an old school Defender, but then also modernized in a lot of ways. Now around the side here, our tire wheel setup is 255/70/18 in the front and over in the rear. You can also get 17-inch wheels with the Grenadier from what I saw in their configurator if you want even more sidewall with the tires. We've got a solid front axle here. It's kind of hard to see everything underneath, but you can kind of see it there. Love the fender flares on the Grenadier. And then again, there's another look at that snorkel. It has a little light on it. And then you can see with the tracks here on the side, rock rail protection as well. And then here's your full side profile on the Grenadier. And with the roof rack and everything and the snorkel, it looks so cool. Now taking a look at the key fob, we of course have the flip out key there. Actually go over here so you can see the sunlight. And then your lock and unlock function, and the Ineos logo that can also double as the alarm. But it's got a sturdy feel. And then popping into the rear, so we've got the little door you can open up. And then if you want to have more door, you can also open up that one as well. But tons of cargo space in the back of the Grenadier. And because of the big boxy design, got lots of vertical space as well. It feels very open, and then the windows in the back I think also help out with making it feel more open. It looks like this one has the tracks and everything, but yeah, it's super easy to close. You just do the big door first, and then you do the other door, and you can use the door handle, but you can also just use the ladder, I've noticed, and that works just as fine to close the door. But yeah, we've got a ladder here on the back. You can see a spare tire as well. And I love the circular taillights. I think those also look really cool. And you can see recovery points here on the back on top of that. So putting it all together, seeing it all kitted out with the steel wheels and the roof rack and everything. Again, the Grenadier in general looks cool, but this looks really cool. Now popping inside, really nice trim here at the top of the door panel and down below. I love the actuation on the handle too. Some storage right here. And then this one has the factory seat covers. This particular one is a leather seat vehicle, if you're wondering. Now, legroom here on the back of the Grenadier is pretty good. The seat cover kind of makes it look like it's less than it is. Some vents here in the back, unlike Broncos, just saying. You've got some USBs. Got an outlet there in the back as well. And then headroom, it's good. Front door panel, again, really tight fit and finish with all of the trim pieces. And then you can see what the window controls are there. Mirror adjustments as well. Just a quick look at the mirrors. And then payload on this is super solid. So you can see 1,365 pounds with this one. Again, seat covers on the front seats as well. Seats manually adjustable. Steering wheel is also manually adjustable. You notice there's a lot of manual stuff. And then you can see soft touch on the dash. And of course, we gotta put the key in the ignition, foot on the brake. Boom. So taking a look at the steering wheel, good like the perforated trim on the center, and then look at that at the top with the marker. That's pretty cool. Grenadier there at the bottom. Of course, we got the toot function, which is always fun to do. You can see with the cruise control as well. And then got your regular stocks here on the back. But yeah, I really dig the steering wheel design. And then in reverse, we've got a backup camera with trajectory lines that turn with the steering wheel. And then as for the rest of the infotainment system, so this side is basically your center gauge cluster in a way, so it has the speedometer on it, lets you know what gear you're in, fuel, all of that. And then this is the infotainment system next to it. So this is where you can go through the different pages. So you got like the off-road page, for example. It does take a second for some of the stuff to load up, but it's responsive in the sense that it always picks up your finger, is what I've noticed. So it's a good system overall. Now it's kind of hard to see because of the lighting, but this is really cool. It shows you like the elevation. It's also a compass as well. And then you can see down below with the controls, we've got controls for like the heated seats, and everything has a very solid actuation. Like it feels like you're doing something substantial when you press the buttons. And then we've got our shifter here, straight out of a BMW. And then it actually has a nice trim on it. Four-wheel drive select, so it's got four-wheel high all the time, and then you can pop it to four-wheel low. You also have a center locking differential. Analog controls for the infotainment system if you don't want to use physical buttons. You notice they do a lot of physical buttons in this. And then we've got little cup holders, center console, which nice trim on the top. And again, that's trim's also on the dash as well. Got the grab handle here, and then you can see the glove box. And then up top, had to increase the brightness with the camera, but up top we've got some important features. Locking differentials, so you can see for the front and for the rear. And then we've got our off-road mode. You got a waiting mode as well. And then you can see for the different items. And you just have the cool toggle switches for everything, which, I don't know, it makes it a little more exciting when you use different features on the vehicle. So here's the window sticker for this Grenadier. Now, this is kind of an interesting setup because this has a lot of dealer accessories. So this is the total MSRP before dealer accessories is $86,575. Now, some of the options you order from the manufacturer get installed by the dealer. Those are on that little ticket there. But total price on everything after all the dealer installed accessories is just over $92,000. So stuff like the roof rack, the snorkel, all of that is installed by the dealer, not at the factory. Land Rover does the same thing with the Defender if you don't know. I always forget it's not a push button start. Okay. Well, let's set off in the Trialmaster. Again, visibility throughout. And let's talk about why I think this is such a cool vehicle and why I might own one of these in the future. I do want to say right off the bat that currently, not in the market for anything because I still have some series to finish on current vehicles. The biggest one is the Bronco. I've got a big series I got to finish on that, and so yeah, until that's done, not even really looking, but still kind of vaguely looking, right? First off, something I've been really impressed with when it comes to Grenadier has been the ride. So this is a vehicle with solid front rear axles, just like a Wrangler, and you know, there are certain things that are so I just did a comparison Wrangler against this, Bronco against this as well. There are some similarities, but there's also some key differences as well. One of the key differences is this doesn't have that kind of floaty side to side kind of riding that the Wrangler and the Bronco have on road. So it feels more like a tank-like SUV because it's just boom on the ground. It's nice. I really like it. And then the steering, again, does not bother me whatsoever with the Grenadier. I love how it says, so you guys saw the sign literally said 35 and this thing says 25. So not only is it beeping at me for the speed stuff, it's also not correct as to what the speed actually is. But regardless, yeah, the steering doesn't bother me at all. It can be a little bit of a learning curve, but it's not bad. It's something you get used to pretty quick. Now, some other stuff with the Grenadier, the engine's great. Now, I hope that they do bring over the diesel option that they have in other markets. It's also a BMW engine. It's a 3-liter. I think I can't remember if it's an inline 6 or I'm pretty sure it's an inline 6 too. But it's got pretty cool power figures. It's like 250 something horsepower, and then torque is like over 400 pound-feet. But yeah, see, like this going around this corner, steering's fine. Like, it weights up nicely. It's not like a sports car where you can feel exactly what's happening, but you can actually feel a decent amount what's happening with the front end. It's actually really cool, the feeling you get with the vehicle. But here's kind of what I've discovered, I guess, over the last little bit with these reviews I've done and the comparisons I've done with the Grenadier. This feels kind of like a Wrangler and a G-Wagon had a baby, right? And this kind of drives like the G-Wagon used to drive like, because the G-Wagon, you know, used to have solid axles and everything. But it's definitely more modern than the previous G-Wagon. First off, it's got way more interior. I think that's a big difference with this. Way more interior space is what I mean. Can't talk today, apparently. And it's got a more modern powertrain, like great power, really good power. Damping's also modern, so when you go over bumps and everything, it feels really good. It doesn't do anything obnoxious. So yeah, a lot of stuff said in this review. I really like the new Grenadier. What I was saying is, what you really need to do with the Grenadier is you just need to go drive one. That's what you need to do. It's really hard to get a real perception of what this is like on videos and everything. And so yeah, I would just recommend go to, you know, the Ineos dealer. And the thing that's great about the one here in Utah is it's like right in the perfect place, because Utah, if you don't know, Utah's population is very like in the same area. So you've got like Salt Lake County, Utah County, Davis County, and Weber County, and that's pretty much where like 2/3 of the state's population lives. Utah County alone, or sorry, not Utah County, Salt Lake County alone has like 1.1 million people. And so if you happen to actually live in Utah, I would say, at least from what I've seen so far with where other Ineos dealers are, I'm not talking any crap or anything, but it seems like this one's like the best placed, because we've got all the off-roading here and the dealer is super easy to get to. Most people in the state are like an hour or less in terms of a drive away from the dealer. So yeah, definitely a nice placement. So let me know what you guys think about the Grenadier. I think this is a really, really cool vehicle. And yeah, I think that this might be the vehicle that I get next for the channel. We'll see what happens. Let me know your thoughts.